Your brain needs support, and new Ollie Brainy Chews are a delightful way to take care of your cognitive health. Made with scientifically backed ingredients like Thai ginger, L-theanine, and caffeine, Brainy Chews support healthy brain function and help you find your focus, stay chill, or get energized. Be kind to your mind and get these nootropic chews at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. Now, born on this date in 1944, singer Sandy Posey, originally of Jasper. Her solo career was in that Skeeter Davis genre zone, somewhere between pop and countrypolitan. She also did a lot of session work as a backup singer with Elvis and others. Reportedly, she's back in Percy Sledge on When a Man Loves a Woman. Also on this date in 1954, State Attorney General candidate Albert Patterson, who was running on promises to clean up corruption in Phoenix City, was shot and killed in Phoenix City. Now, that killing actually hastened the end of the Sin City days in the East Alabama town. Gosh, today we have looming changes to social studies classes in the state, Isaiah Buggs run-ins with the law, Miriam Sheehan's passing, bodies buried at a zoo, and a Willie Mays update. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Now, did anyone else ever make the argument at home to your folks that school was easier for them because they didn't have near as much history to learn? Well, updates appear to be coming to social studies classes in Alabama, reports AL.com's Tricia Powell-Crane. Geneva City School Superintendent Ron Snell is spearheading the effort. He told the Alabama Board of Education that the state wants more emphasis put on civics and Alabama history. The current standards have been in place since 2010, so you might see why there's some urgency to this. Since the history curriculum hasn't been overhauled in 14 years, at some point you start getting behind by decades. Now, when a rewrite of the standards stalled out in 2021, Fordham Institute researcher David Griffith pointed out that the current standards are spotty on anything after 1970. Now, there's currently a focus on Alabama history in the 4th grade and civics in the 7th grade. Snell said they'd like to see more state history woven into other courses so that students can get more of it over several grades. We could get a peek at a draft of the new standards by August. When Kansas City Chiefs defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs was arrested over the weekend on second-degree domestic violence and second-degree burglary charges, it not only added to his legal problems, plus whatever jeopardy that may pose to his lucrative profession, but also has caused his bond to be revoked in an animal cruelty case, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson. A Tuscaloosa County judge has ordered the former Alabama player to be held without bond. He was booked last month after authorities say that neglected and malnourished dogs were found at a rental he had moved from. Buggs' lawyer said they weren't his. Also this year, Buggs has been arrested twice on misdemeanor charges at his business, the King's Hookah Lounge. Once for allegedly shoving the Tuscaloosa police chief. Buggs' lawyer said previously that the arrests are part of an effort to shut down King's Hookah Lounge. The mother of 21-year-old Quinette Sheehane, the victim in one of Alabama's most notorious murders of the 70s, has died, reports AL.com's Howard Koplowitz. Now, after her daughter's kidnapping and murder, Miriam Sheehane became a prolific crime victims advocate. Found in the organization Victims of Crime and Leniency, or VOCAL, in 1982. That organization is still around today, having influenced legislation that has affected the state's justice system on a number of issues. Quinette Sheehane was a recent Birmingham Southern College grad in December 1976. She went to a Birmingham convenience store where 3 men kidnapped her. They held her, raped her, and shot her to death when she tried to get away. All 3 were convicted. One died in the electric chair in 1990, and the other 2 are still serving life sentences. District Attorney for the 19th Judicial Circuit of Alabama, C.J. Robinson, quote, Miriam was a true hero who touched so many lives. Out of a tragedy, she found the grace to institute change so that others would walk an easier path. Her legacy will live on in the impact she had on us all. Miriam Shehane was 91 years old. Hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have an explainer on bodies buried underneath the Birmingham Zoo, and I'll have an MLB at Rickwood update.
Think you know the Brooks Ghost? Think again. Introducing the all-new, better-than-ever Ghost 16. Now with nitrogen-infused cushioning for lightweight, supreme softness that feels good every step, every street, every single day. So go ahead, take your daily joyride in the all-new nitrogen-infused Ghost 16. It'll turn your everyday miles into everyday endorphins. Let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
Thanks for staying with us. We touched on this next one just a little bit once last year, but now expert explainer Jonathan Sobolewski's here to break down what we know about the bodies buried beneath the Birmingham Zoo.
A bunch of Birmingham folks came to me to find out if the rumors are true. Are there a bunch of bodies buried underneath the Birmingham Zoo? And the answer is yes, but it's kinda hard to know how many. So the Birmingham Zoo is located in Lane Park, along with the city's botanical gardens. But that's not what always used to be there. The zoo opened its doors in the 50s, but from 1889 to 1909, the park had a different name, the New Southside Cemetery. It's estimated around 4,700 people were buried in the cemetery. The problem was, this was a pauper's graveyard. Basically, the records of who was buried there are not great. So when the zoo was opened in Lane Park in the 1950s, they basically built it on top of whoever was underground. Now it's not the 1950s anymore, and people are obviously aware of the bodies because these days the zoo handles things much more carefully. For example, in 2023, when they began work for a new expansion of the zoo, they had archaeologists come and exhume 15 bodies by hand and store them to be buried elsewhere on the property. Unfortunately, it's too late to do that kind of excavation on the exhibits that are already there. So the answer is yes, there are bodies buried under the Birmingham Zoo. But we don't know how many because the records are spotty and it's a huge property. But we do know that the number is 15 bodies smaller than it used to be. I'm Jonathan Sobolewski for AL.com.
Thanks, Sobo. Tread lightly out there. Willie Mays isn't expected to make it to Thursday night's MLB at Rickwood Field ballgame between the Giants and Cardinals in Birmingham, reports AL.com's Mark Inhabitant. Mays is 93 years old. One of the perks of being 93 is that you get an automatic pass to back out of whatever you need or want to back out of. We wish the Say Hey Kid health and happiness. But what will be at Rickwood during much of the game will be the Willie Mays Hall of Fame plaque, the actual one from the National Baseball Hall of Fame Museum in Cooperstown, New York. Now, if you're not into baseball history at all, that may be lost on you a little bit, but the plaques at Cooperstown are iconic. There's one for every player in the hall. Mays, who's from Jefferson County, was inducted in 1979. Again, that ball game's on Thursday. Thank y'all so much for listening to us. We will be back here again tomorrow. Until then, y'all come by anytime you want to see what we're doing on the internet at AL.com.